17 states have just joined the Texas lawsuit in the Supreme Court. Folks, things are getting real. Republicans and the GOP everywhere are rising up to fight back against unconstitutional elections in Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Texas is arguing three main arguments. One, these states violated the Constitution by making changes to the rules of an election without going through the legislature. Two, Texas is arguing that the differences in voting rules and procedures were different in counties within the states, violating the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause. Texas argues that there were also voting irregularities in these states as the result of the above. These three claims make a very solid argument, and the media is currently freaking out. They're absolutely mad that so many states are joining this lawsuit. Now we're going to talk about this, folks. I've got a few things to show you. If you recall, a state representative who was threatening Trump supporters on Twitter and saying she wants to, quote, make them pay, is currently under investigation. She's been suspended from her duties. But before we continue, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell button for notifications for more content. And if you like this video, please consider giving it a share. And now a quick word from our sponsor. Introducing Battle Games, Book 1. It's a story about the far future, where people battle in futuristic, fast-paced gladiator matches, striving for the championship. I love this concept. This book has it all. Romance, action, suspense. If you're a fan of science fiction, get your copy today by clicking on the link down below. Now, 17 states have joined the Texas lawsuit. And if you've seen the media, you know that they're absolutely freaking out. I saw Chris Como on CNN, grandstanding. This is a travesty. Trump is bad. These attorney generals have no moral fabric. Blah, blah, blah. He was whining and making himself seem like a total fool. And notice how the media is not talking about the lawsuit. The argument is that these states violated the Constitution, to which they did. They're arguing that because of these rule changes in only these states, ballots were not treated equally, violating the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause. To put it very simply, Texas was very strict. For example, they verified signatures on mail-in ballots, they double-checked things, they had security, they had a chain of custody. Meanwhile, places like Georgia did not verify signatures on ballots. They made it easier to vote. And this is not a good thing, because you need a chain of custody, which they did not have, and you need rules and regulations to make sure that there is no fraud and that everything is done by the book. But they weren't. Not only did they violate the Constitution, they violated America by not following the same rules. This is amazing, folks. We're witnessing history in the making, and I truly hope from the bottom of my heart that the Supreme Court does the right thing. Now, Trump has also announced that he will be intervening, aka joining this lawsuit, and they're making a big push. They're going to get this to the Supreme Court. Most importantly, they may actually win because this lawsuit does not argue fraud. It does not argue that people stole an election. What it argues is very simple. These states violated the Constitution. There was a violation of the Equal Protections Clause and irregularities. That would be evidence of voter fraud and other things were a result of these unconstitutional actions. It's a brilliant legal argument and exactly what Trump has been waiting for. In other news, on the Hill, Trump asks Ted Cruz missile to argue the Texas case. Folks, this has become an extremely big lawsuit, one that could have very broad implications for this election. Now, I don't honestly know how much I'm even allowed to say because we are being censored by big tech. Again, please share this video. You, the people, are the only ones who have the power to take back our voice. So share videos like these if you think what they have to say is important. And trust me, folks, this is important. Now, the states supporting this lawsuit are Missouri, Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Utah, and West Virginia. Folks, it is happening. And who knows? We may even get more people to join the case. Now, the reason that this is significant is because the more states join, the more seriously this lawsuit has to be taken. You cannot simply disenfranchise 17 states. They ignore this, the Constitution will not mean jack squat. It'll be just a worthless piece of paper. And that is not what we want. We need the Constitution. It was the thing that created this country, and without it, this country will no longer be. Now I want to talk about the state representative who threatened Trump supporters in a viral Twitter video. Here we are on Twitter with Alex Salvi. Michigan State Representative Cynthia Johnson is stripped of her assignments and is under investigation for her threats made against Trump supporters posted on social media on Tuesday night. He posted the following picture. It says, Speaker of the House Lee Chatfield and Speaker-elect Jason Wentworth have released the following statement. Quote, threats to either Republicans or Democrats are unacceptable and un-American. They're even more unbecoming of an elected official. Representative Johnson has been removed from her committee assignments, and we are looking into further disciplinary action as the proper authorities conduct their own investigation. So, in this shocking video, a state representative literally calls out to Democrats and says that Trump supporters gotta pay. She later claimed that she wasn't being literal, that she was saying, oh, it was just a religious thing. I meant like pay God or something. I don't really believe her, to be honest. I think that she probably had bad intentions, and it's a very good thing that it's being taken seriously. She needs to be investigated. Honestly, she should not be a state representative. You cannot call for this sort of thing. It is wrong. This country is on the verge of chaos. We don't want chaos. That is why I and many others have been arguing that we must go to the Supreme Court and let the Constitution decide the results of the election. But Democrats are pushing and pushing and pushing, and they're saying all of these crazy things. They're not being held accountable. And that is the problem. Now, fortunately, the other state officials have said that her comments cannot be tolerated, and these are people who are elected to represent the American people. Not one group, not another group. We can't have this kind of rhetoric. So I'm glad that she's being investigated, and I hope she gets punished. Now, Herman 1231 brings up a really good point. Is this justice, or are they slapping her on the wrist until this dies down and put her right back on those committees? She is not going to stop. She needs to be removed from her post permanently. Yeah, I think she should be fired from her job. We can't have politicians that say the other side has to pay. It doesn't matter what you mean, even if it's like a metaphor, or you got to pay to God, or God will judge you, or I don't believe that's what she meant. Honestly, we cannot have that from our politicians. Republicans aren't saying that. Trump supporters are not saying that. They're saying we want to go to the Supreme Court. We want the law to solve these problems. Due process, justice. Meanwhile, the left is saying horrible things about Trump supporters, about Trump. They want to throw Trump in jail. They want to make lists of Trump supporters and enablers, as they call them. These people are completely insane. But that, my friends, is pretty much the story. It would be really interesting to see Ted Cruz actually accept and present the Texas lawsuit. He's already offered to represent the Pennsylvania lawsuit, and honestly, he's really good at arguing. Like, he's good. Have you seen those clips? Ted Cruz destroys Mark Zuckerberg on bias and censorship. All those clips, they're hilarious. I think he would be a really good choice to argue the Texas case. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. YouTube and big tech and Democrats are declaring that Joe Biden is president-elect, and therefore you're not allowed to have an opinion. Well, the Supreme Court might have a different opinion, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. We'll see what happens. I honestly don't know, but what I do know is that, folks, it's happening. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this video? Let me know down below, in the comment section, as always. If you want to support the work I do, join me on Patreon or Subscribestar. I am funded by viewers like you. If you want to donate, visit my donation link or send me crypto. You can also visit one of my sponsors. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.